What? What's going on? Where am I? You just saw Tenet, and now you're so excited to finally hear my review. Wait a minute, that's not how I start. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JBuck Studios, your home for reviews, reactions, and ridiculousness. Anyways, though, it's the movie event, blockbuster movie event of 2020 we've all been waiting for. Movie theaters are back open. Christopher Nolan, his latest movie, is finally here. Tenet. A secret agent embarks on a dangerous time-bending mission to prevent the start of World War III. So is Tenet the must-see blockbuster, go out, throw a mask on, risk your life type movie right now? Let's find out. But before I get into my thoughts, let me know what you guys thought of Tenet if you've already seen this one or have been looking forward to this for literally months and months and months. Now let's get into some of the good. So yes, Christopher Nolan is back at it with a brand new movie, and honestly, from the trailers, from what we've heard, this is a weird movie, and that's exactly what this movie is. The world, the lore, everything that he builds here, I think is fantastic. It's a spectacle. It is insane, it is wild, it is bonkers at times, and I think that was one of the highlights here, is it's insane to see things move backwards while also moving forward and how they interact with one another. And that, I mean, just the action. When people are fighting, you're fighting someone going backwards, but they're fighting someone going forwards who's also going backwards. So it is, again, that spectacle, that ooh and ah of literally a summer blockbuster. So what he creates in this world, how the mechanics kind of work, and how it is shot is wonderful. It is weird, it is wacky, like I said, bonkers at times. And that brings in the action. Like, this is your summer action blockbuster popcorn flick. Go enjoy a spectacle, explosions, fist fights, car chases, people shooting people, and insane stuff. Like, it's a Christopher Nolan movie, so you know that you're going to get all of this in this movie. But rounding out the positives for myself, because I don't want to get too much more into the world and lore, because there's some spoilerific stuff in there that you don't want to be ruined. But the performances from honestly everyone in this movie, I thought landed. That's what made this movie enjoyable. Elizabeth Debicki, Robert Pattinson, John David Washington, Kenneth Branagh. I mean, the cast here is superb, and they turn in solid performances from the acting, the portrayal, the action. What is asked of them in this movie, they nail. I think that they are sort of the core of this movie. Aside from the spectacle, it's definitely leaning on the performances for Tenet. Oh, and one last thing, I honestly loved the score of Tenet. I mean, it's something new. It's like, it's high tech, it's futuristic, but also has that like sci-fi synth kind of wave flavor to it, which added a lot of personality to this movie. Like, you could tell that this was a Christopher Nolan movie, but this was something different. We hadn't seen anything in this world. We hadn't seen anything that had tried to do this before, and the music added a lot of personality. However, now getting into the negatives, and I will say I was expecting Tenet to literally explode my socks off. Spoiler here, my socks are still on. This movie, I think, is full of itself. This movie, Tenet, is essentially a high schooler 10 years later at a high school reunion bragging about what they did in high school. This movie did not live up to my hype one bit. It is a story that the structure is so confusing and messy. I'm gonna say it's messy. Like, sure, if you boil it down, it makes sense. You get from point A to point B to point C, but in between and the overriding or exposition drops to explain how we got to A and then had to go to Z to get to B, it doesn't make clear sense. I'm curious how the storyboards of this really worked, or the plot progression, because, again, this is a mess of a story. Sure, you can boil it down to that spy, espionage, thriller, save the world type movie, but there's a lot in this that is kind of brought up and forgotten about, or just kind of skimmed over, because they're like, hey, look at the action over there, or look at that guy fight backwards, and then you forget about it. So honestly, in this 2+ hour movie, a lot of it is you having a damn clue what's going on. They're trying to explain it, and you're like, okay, well, maybe if I just listen to these characters, I'll pick up the in-between. I'll piece this together myself. Well, surprise, surprise, and maybe it was my theater, even though I went to IMAX. I saw it in the best sound that the movie theater had. The sound mixing, not the sound design, because I really enjoyed the sound design of everything that was in this movie. The sound mixing, though, of background music, explosions, and people talking was one of the worst I think I've seen in the last year. I couldn't understand a damn word what people were saying. It could have been with volume, it could have been the mix, it could have been people just mush-mouthing lines. I honestly... The first 20 minutes, I didn't catch a damn sentence of what any of these characters said. So that's why I'm relying on what I'm seeing on the screen and these exposition drops to piece this story together. I was lost a lot of this movie. Sure, I got from A to Z to B to C and got to the finish line. But this movie, I've never wanted to, in a movie theater, wish I had subtitles. This movie, for myself, you need subtitles because not only are they dropping a lot, but they don't word it in ways that you can understand because it's drowned out by everything. I didn't understand Tenet. Overall, Tenet is the big ooh, ah, without any sort of substance or understanding. With it featuring this weird, crazy spectacle world with action, performances, and a score that very much complemented everything, but with a mess of a story, with exposition, and nothing honestly making any sense, with sound mixing that was honestly one of the worst I have seen or heard, I guess, in a long time. I'm a little bit over the line. You should probably see Tenet because it is a huge action blockbuster, summer blockbuster, return to the movie theater. But this movie is not one that I think a lot of people are going to be talking about after the fact, talking about in Christopher Nolan's top 5, or even really remembering years and years down the road because this is oof. In closing, I'm going to give Tenet 3.2 out of 5 shares if I could turn back time. So what did you guys think of Tenet? If you've already seen this one, looking forward to this, or now listening to me, not risking your life, and staying home waiting for VOD, I want to know in the comments down below. Anyways, though, as always, thank you so much for watching. Watch some more videos up there, or right over there, you know, brand new content every single week here on the JBuck Studios channel. Hopefully I can do an ending explained poorly for this movie, but without even understanding half the movie because of the sound mixing. We will see, so stay tuned for all of that. Follow all of my social media for all the latest updates. Like this video, subscribe to the JBuck Studios channel, and until next time, we'll see you later.